1, 2, 3, 4, let's go.
It's Heartbeat
It's a fabulous show.
Alaska.
I Heartbeat Alaska.
It's Heartbeat Alaska.
Pull up a chair and enjoy the show.
Hear it from Sitka to Barrow. Gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Heartbeat Alaska. If you're a first-time viewer, our cameramen travel to remote villages across the north, gathering news and information to share with you. On today's program, we travel to Nunivak Island, an island 30 miles off the coast of the mainland. We travel there for a fabulous reindeer festival and also a historical event. For the first time in 65 years, the local residents dance their traditional dance. This is a joyous program. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back with the Messenger Festival right after this. Heartbeat Alaska is pleased to announce a brand new official hotel. We're brought to you now by Millennium Alaskan Hotel, the official hotel of Heartbeat Alaska. And
Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Flying Service. Thank you, Frontier, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Brown's Electric Lighting Gallery. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support of Heartbeat Alaska. Heartbeat Alaska is made possible by Cupik Carlisle Transportation, your full-service transportation and logistics company.
welcome back. For centuries, the Cupik people of Nunivak Island lived a life deeply rooted in tradition, passing their knowledge and their traditions on from generation to generation. Then one day, the winds of change changed direction. They say that history repeats itself. For the indigenous people of Nunivak Island, we pray that this is not true. It was in 1821 that life of the Cupik people of Nunivak Island would change its course. It was in that year that Russian explorers claimed the discovery of Nunivak Island. It was that year, 1821, that marked the first ever contact with non-natives. And although contact has been established, the Cupik people of Nunivak Island continued their way of life, migrating from one side of the island to the other, following the sea mammals and animals throughout the season.
Nunivak Island was populated all along the coast. And since we're Eskimos, if you will, we live off both land and sea mammals, land animals, plant and vegetables and birds. So therefore we were nomads, if you will, going from one season to another, following the birds and the vegetables and the land and sea mammals. It's kind of like a cycle. And then we follow them And therefore we had fish camps, herring camps, and seal camps.
We used to move into Cape Edland during the breakup and move back during summertime. And when the fish comes in, we'd move to Southside. And then fall time, we'd go to Cape Manning. So I was wondering why that was going on. So I finally asked my father, and he says, well, we got to have seal for the winter. We have to have dried fish for the summer, and then geese for the winter. It was crucial for our ancestors to live by moving from one place to another in order to have enough food for the winter.
In 1890, the first U.S. Census reported 15 settlements with a population of 745 people. Yet another U.S. Census, conducted 10 years later, reported only 10 settlements with 110 people. Although the actual numbers are distorted and unclear, what would happen to the Cupik people of Nunivak Island in the following 20 years would change their lives forever.
Want to do something incredible? Consider adoption. I know I will when I'm a little older. Why? Because I was adopted.
We were adopted.
Two wonderful, loving people did something incredible. They created this, a family. Adopt a kid.
Or two.
We'll love you forever. Hey.
It wasn't until almost 100 years later that the Cupik way of life would be redefined by the U.S. government. In 1920, the U.S. government introduced the first reindeer herd to the island, employing locals to tend to them. In 1924, the first English-speaking school was established at Nash Harbor Village at the northern end of the island. Over the next 4 years, these reindeer herders would find themselves essentially herded into the village where they could receive a Western education.
My childhood was very tough. I went to BA school here, and we were punished for speaking our own language. And we got punished a lot because we didn't know English. Only language that we had was our language.
With all of the indigenous people gathered on the North Shore, the U.S. government quickly moved in and established the Nunivak Island Wildlife Reservation, prohibiting the Cupik people from hunting the wildlife on the island, a large part of their diet and their culture.
Without the knowledge of our fathers, our grandfathers, the federal government came and took the island as a national wildlife refuge. And at that time, my father's father lived all over the island. And then therefore, if you ask me, that land which was given to us by the Creator of all things was taken away, and therefore we're not entitled to the land itself when we are already here. This is our land because it's inherited. The government was wrong when they made it into to the wilderness. And then if it became wilderness while we are here on the island, that included us. Therefore, we are the sole owners of the island.
The encroachment of Western culture continued through organized religion in 1936. The church at that time prohibited native dancing, singing, mass making, and ceremonies connected to their heritage and traditions, essentially severing cultural ties to their past. Today, the winds of change still blow across the sands of time. Only now, they blow in a different direction. Each week, Heartbeat Alaska brings you great stories from all over the state. And we couldn't do it without the generous support of Frontier Flying Service. Frontier gets our camera crews where they need to go. So whenever you see a Frontier plane, give them a wave.
Say hi from Nuxet.
You might just be on Heartbeat Alaska.
Frontier Flying Service, covering Alaska for over 50 years.
Can I take your order?
Give me 15 cheeseburgers.
Come on. Can I take your order?
Can I take your number?
Can I take your order?
You got any egg?
Can I take your order?
Man, I don't have any money. All right, well, all right, go.
Man, watch out! Times have changed. Babies are born, and old people pass away. New residents now inhabit the island of Nunivak Island, and in Mekoryuk, Alaska, the residents are reaching back into their past, back 65 years, and reviving the traditional dance. From self-sufficient to codependent, the white world changed the face of the Cupik people to resemble their own by taking away their land, food, beliefs, and culture. For the past 65 years, the sounds of a culture once submerged in tradition have remained dormant until today. Although secluded from the mainland, the people of Mekoryuk, Nunivak Island, have seen other native cultures practicing their ways, dancing and singing traditional songs, passing them down from generation to generation. This exposure to other cultures over the years has brought about a contagious curiosity, a hunger to know more about themselves, about their ways, about their past. The people of Nunivak Island are being called home. In an attempt to revive their culture, the Cupiks of Nunivak Island are celebrating their first Messenger Festival in over 65 years. In the days of pre-contact, when a village had a successful season, harvesting many sea mammals and wildlife, a year full of good fortune, that village would send out messengers to the other villages on the island, inviting all to come to a gathering to share food, song, and dance, and celebrate a prosperous season. This was known as the Messenger Festival. Today, the people of Mekoryuk celebrate life, a life that has been absent for over half a century. And although a large part of who they are has been missing, these Cupik people are grateful for what they do have, a large abundance of reindeer. Most of the reindeer on the island were herded from miles away for this special occasion.
The place where we went to go pick them up was like about maybe 35 miles south from here. Then we start driving them, and in about maybe 12, 11 hours, we got them as close as we can over here, maybe 4 miles from the village, 5 miles from the village. Next morning we go out and pick them up, regroup them, and bring them in. In the wintertime, A steer will still have his antlers, and it'll still have a little bit of velvet, and that way you can tell that that's a steer. Then you just knock them down. And the other ones, just look for the ear tag.
Rounding up reindeer might sound easy, but 5,000 reindeer, each with a mind of their own, can often make the task a challenging one.
Like when you make up your mind you want to do something, you're going to do it. Exactly the same way. They just keep going. Even if you try to turn them around, or pretty soon they'll get all scattered and, go. Or just like last week, my partner, one of my other herders, that he was running after reindeer. And that guy, the reindeer he was running after, just jumped into the ocean, just swam away. I could imagine, I mean, just bringing them back from south end of the island, driving right behind them, it gets really, really tiring. But I can imagine what those our elders used to go out and by foot, and, hot and gloomy days.
My father was a reindeer herder. He ran around and walked on foot just about the entire island at one point in time. And I was able to do that. I was fortunate enough to be able to walk around most of the Nunivak Island herding reindeer on foot as well.
As far as I know, back then when they walked on foot, reindeer was very tame, not wild. And now that we changed to modernize, we use snow machines and use helicopters, and now they're very wild. If they see a snow machine within, 4 or 5 miles, they'd be gone. They'd be gone. So we have to keep up with them. We were trying to get that back, and we want to get it back. Get all our young guys involved and try herding by foot.
It's a year-round job, tending to the large herd, and with almost 5,000 reindeer grazing the island, population control is critical.
At one time when the island had about over 10,000 animals, and in one winter there was a lot of dead animals due to starvation.
Nunivak Island is such a small island compared to mainland, and then it can hold so many reindeer and muskox because of the grazing, and we have to control the reindeer and the muskox population somehow to not overgraze the island, to have a healthy grazing ground for reindeer and muskox.
We're raffling reindeer and giving them a chance to, pick up reindeer.
Elder George Williams Sr. of Mekoryuk tells the story of the Messenger Festival and how the power of the cane would grant the messengers the necessary clothes and tools to make the journey across the island to the different villages. It is an unwritten past, a history based on the spoken word, where the stories and legends are told from father to son, mother to daughter. And tragically, for the people of Mekoryuk, the last elder who knew the dances of the Cupik people of Nunivak Island passed away before his knowledge was passed down. It is called elder wisdom for a reason. And the elder wisdom of Kay Hendrickson told him to record these dances onto videotape. If it wasn't for the wisdom and knowledge of Kay Hendrickson, in all likelihood, the Cupik dance would have vanished forever.
The village itself here in the Mekoryuk was able to use recordings done by Kay Hendrickson, who's now passed away, the late Kay Hendrickson, was able to record a couple of video recordings that he remembers singing before. And it was really fortunate that that happened, and we were able to express the motions of those dances.
I could, just feel that joy running through my body, and especially when the women came out with the costumes and the way they looked, it was just so overwhelming with, because we only look at pictures saying we wished we could do this, we wish we could know how to make that Cupik Eskimo dancing stuff, and it's just really amazing that it happened.
One of the highlights of the Messenger Festival was the performance of a couple of these traditional songs. By studying pictures and the gift that Kay Hendrickson left behind, others were able to recreate the traditional dance regalia that their ancestors wore. Local artist John Oscar recreated the headgear that the men wore for dancing.
I did the headgear for the men based on the photographs that were provided to me. With that limited knowledge, I was able to mimic the format they used, but carrying on the same tradition that they had, like the walrus headgear, the puffin headgear, and the reindeer headgear. I was able to concentrate on the main two, walrus and reindeer headgear, and I was able to provide assistance to another person with a puffin headgear.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with this cultural dance. That was a band some 60 years ago, and I believe that this will be an accepted entertainment, entertainment for the community, and we plan to continue on to do it.
Dancing in Mekoryuk was abolished back in 1930s because it was thought to be a worshiping of the devil, the bad spirits and all, but it was actually not. It was a gathering for families who were able to get together and share experiences like this to create and rebuild kinships and families.
It was really exciting, our first time dancing, maybe for 80 years or more. And when the community came out and danced, I almost started crying because I was so happy, because we never danced for a while. And it was lots of fun.
I'd like to be able to see my children, witness something like this, and learn from this new experience. and carried on even if I'm no longer here anymore. So that's important for this community is to take this back, and our children are very excited about it, and I'm glad to see that happening.
As long as I live, I'll want to learn everything I can to, support the kids like this, to teach them how to do it. So when I'm an elder, that Cupik will still be around, because it's slowly fading away. But if we Eskimo dance, I'm sure that the kids will be interested in, dancing and speaking their language.
It was a special feeling that I was taking part in a historic moment for the community, as well as the state of Alaska and the globe. And it's a very special feeling that an elder from Nunivak Island, who's now deceased, was able to, and unselfish enough to leave us several songs. It gave me a special feeling as an adult that, I did not know in my entire life that, doing a cultural dance would be so fun, it's entertaining. And I feel for the community out there that when we performed, and they've never seen anybody previously perform from this level at the village, it is a very special feeling for them, and I think they are very proud of us.
For the Cupik people of Mekoryuk, it is a new beginning to a story from a time long ago. As they are awakened by their ancestors, the people of Nunivak Island are discovering that their future lies in their past. Thank you once again for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Native Information. I want to thank everyone in Mekoryuk, Alaska for your help on that story. And we want to thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for the reindeer meat. Fabulous. My staff and I have loved it very, very much. God bless every single one of you. And we'll see you again right here on Heartbeat Alaska as we take you to remote villages across the north.